I found something quite interesting. There are actually quite a few things, to be honest, but the first one, where I'd like to start, is the blog article that came out all about this week's snapshot. So here I was on Minecraft.net, just taking a look at the blog articles. Typically, they're in chronological order, and then I went, wait a second, snapshot 4, random article from earlier this week, baby mom. That made me take a closer look at this article, and well, laddies, 1:15:26. That is solidly, like, over a week ago. Were the things inside of this snapshot, at least the baby horses, initially planned for an earlier snapshot? That, or they just write the blog posts insanely early, publish them with screenshots and everything, and then just make us wait until snapshot day for the content. So, if that's the case, Mojang, what happened to the cool teasers? The cool teasers did the heavy listing of hype for the Spring to Life update. We need them back. Alright, now over the past couple of days, I've had even more time to dive into Minecraft 1.21.6. Oh my god, the new numbering system is just slipped out, guys. I don't even know. The first thing that I'd like to take a look at here is Baby Horse. Oh my god, it is so adorable. The head is so massively wide, and with the help of this command right here, go ahead and put your name in, you could actually ride. Alright, hold on. You could actually ride the Baby Horse mob. Oh my god. Romaine, like, look at its head. It's shaking faster than an earthquake. What the heck? Now, obviously, we're not meant to be able to ride a baby mob who would break their back, but if I were to use the commands here, I get the horse's full inventory, and I actually, believe it or not, get Dua Lipa levitation effect. I'm not even sitting on the horse. All right, little buddy, all right. I'm sorry about that. I give your back a little break now. You can go back to waiting. Now, an initial look of Snapshot 26.1, we took a look at a bunch of different horses, but definitely nowhere near every single new baby horse in the game. I've done it, baby. I went ahead and did it. So, with our horse display that I've gone ahead and built and commanded out for us over here, we have 5 different variants of every single horse, and then 7 different horse base colors in total. I have a little bit of a graph set up over here, where in the front I have the label of the color, so like creamy, and then on the side I have the label of whatever the pattern is, so like white dots, creamy with white dots, bam. Take a look at that beauty. It's so good looking. Now, overall, taking a look at these horses, I'm sorry I have to say it, but the black dots one is my least favorite by far. Like, the texture here, it just looks so busy. And I mean, what are they supposed to do about it? It's an exact copy of the adult version of the horse, but it's ugly. You hear that? Even the Wandering Trader agrees. Dude, nobody asked for your opinion. Leave. As if the Wandering Trader is beautiful looking. Oh my god, it's music to my ears, so listen. Oh my god. The baby horse sounds, they're so adorable. Honestly, I think for every single coloration, maybe my favorite design that wins out over the plain ones. Call me a basic boy, but I just like a clean looking basic horse. But these cow print ones, dude, they go so hard every single time. Like, this is pure luxury right here. Every coloration of it, it's gorgeous and beautiful. Now, of course, in our initial snapshot video, we took a look at all of the other baby variants here, plain clear as day. They all look really, really good. I wonder what Mojang's thought process was on the horse eye on the baby being large versus small eye for the donkey and the mule that both have longer heads. Now, in all honesty, this week's snapshot was probably the smallest snapshot that we've gotten this year. The smaller the snapshot, the harder it is to read in between the lines because, well, there are less lines. And that's not exactly the greatest look at a time when the Minecraft community is a little bit unhappy with this current drop so far. I think the community's overall unsatisfaction with this update so far has led to people searching for hope in other areas. But before we take a look at some of those very, very promising signs, the time event. So this cool time business and new recent finds, it was actually originally added not in this week's snapshot, but the week's snapshot before. We actually have even more time events than just the 2 secret ones. So in Snapshot 3, when we took a look at this, we took a look at 2 of our secret in-game time events, but there are more. So we have time query, game time. We'll go ahead and run that, and then we will learn exactly how many ticks have been ticked inside of this world. That's kind of cool. Time query, day. We can go ahead and do that, and then figure out exactly what time of the day it's set at. Time query, early game. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We could go ahead and test it out right here, but I think this is the time of day that your world will begin at. Maybe not. You know what this might be? This could be the time that the day cycle actually begins. As in, like, this is where the sun actually is popping up above the... No. Early game is nighttime. Okay. So I'm not too sure exactly what that one is, but time query moon. I think it has to do with the moon's current exact position. If I go ahead and flip it over to it, we can see that the moon is nowhere in sight. So I think it's telling us where the moon is in some kind of weird way down below the world right now. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit different, by the way. I'm still sick. I'm trying to get over it. I've blown my nose so many times while making this video. Timeline, a villager schedule. We could learn a little bit more about the villager schedules and their routines, where they're at. What are you doing, dude? Basically, what we're seeing here is all of these different time events are time events that help us control the game and the world and make whatever happens actually happens. Now, not only with our initial snapshot that added our first batch of babies to the game, but now even more so with this latest snapshot that adds even more babies into the game. Well, now seeing that Mojang clearly has a theme with this update, we can pretty safely take a look at what could be next. And I guess to be clear, by could be, I mean almost certainly is coming next. So this takes us all the way back to 21.6 snapshot number 2, when the babies first popped up in the game, where we got all of these different texture reshuffling and renaming going on inside of the files. Initially, at least for the most part, these were all mobs that were actually already updated. Then we get to something like the Copper Golem that's never going to have a baby variant. Golems don't do that. Golems care about work and not love. And then eventually we break down into an intriguing one, the Fox, and then so on. Specifically, inside of that very intriguing snapshot, some mobs that had their file location updated that are definitely due for an adorable baby mob. The fox, the llama, the panda, and the turtle. Like, the turtle is the most bad one here. The baby is just like, whoa, that's a small child. Dude, it's a monster. Honestly, all of the infant versions of these mobs have the old system going on where we just basically make the body really, really small and then keep the head the same size. It's kind of weird looking with the context of all of the new mobs. But there is one here that is a little bit off, and that is the frog. Obviously, a baby frog is a tadpole. There is no baby smaller frog in the game. So if you want to be a buzzkill here, you go ahead and call all of this stuff right here just simple renaming and nothing more. And I guess that would put you squarely on the team of, yeah, Mojang should make everything very inconsistent and to leave all of these baby mobs alone too. So, I don't make the rules, mate. But the fact that we have all of this texture organization going on seems to almost certainly be a sign that even more babies are coming. Now, I want to send a huge shout out to Additional Elk, a 906 over on a subreddit. They're a legend for this one. They actually went ahead and took a look at all of the mobs in the game and checked off the ones that we have so far. So plain as day, we can see the ones that we don't have so far. So taking a look at this image right here, we can see, obviously, there are some with question marks here. The question mark ones are ones that are a little bit unclear. Like, are we actually going to get baby salmon, baby parrot? I don't know. Seems like something is in the works with the salmon variants going on. And then why these three are just slapped in here too? I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a dream. There are some pretty sure signs of the penguin some point this year. But our other mobs here that are clearly absent from the baby variant debacle, the camel, the fox, the llama like we talked about, polar bear, that's a really, really big one, turtle absolutely needs one, and there's actually quite a bit of other aquatic mobs as well. The fact that Mojang didn't do the camel quite yet makes me definitely a little bit nervous here that we are going to end up with an update with random baby mobs that never got an update, and that means another drop in the future just about baby mobs. But on the hopeful side of things, don't you remember, like, I think it was some point last year when they added baby squids to Minecraft Java for the first time, baby dolphin as well? Look, I have to go back and see exactly when that was, but how far in advance are these drops planned out? Another intriguing one inside of the files that has to do with the armor stand. I would have swore earlier this year that the armor stand would have been updated and maybe like the copper dropper with the armor update. Alas, no. Instead of all of our file reorganizations here, we have the armor stand / wood being renamed to just entity armor stand. So no longer could we say maybe have a stone armor stand or something, or at least if we did, they would call it armor stand _ stone or something like that. I guess I'm just hopeful, man. How difficult could it be to get the armor stand in parity with Bedrock Edition? Like, it's one of the most big things data packers have been doing for a long time, all about storytelling in your worlds. You know, so you can set up dummies and have poses going on. Man, it's so beautiful. Now, while I was analyzing the files right here, we clearly have a bunch of stuff for the new baby mobs and mob organization in general. But then moving on, we also have some strange readjustments here inside of the files having to do with things that definitely don't have babies, like Blaze and the Witch. Also, something like Spider Eyes, that thing hasn't been moved and renamed, so maybe we could have different Spider Eye mobs. Like, I don't know if this could be a thing, but imagine different spiders having different eye colors based off of the effects that they have. Maybe, like, I don't know, green when it has night vision? Why does bro have night vision? What is he doing? Afraid of the dark? So look, maybe Mojang is just using precious development time when they could be cooking up brand new features to just reorganize the game files. And hey, I mean, you got to do it at some point, or maybe they're setting up for something in the future. I do love the look of this one right here with the shield base stuff. That's quite nice. In our list of mobs here that had their files shuffled around kind of intriguingly, we have the Blaze, the Dolphin, the Endermite, the Silverfish, the Guardian, the Phantom, oh god, please no, the Wandering Trader, and the Witch. So, kind of a random assortment of mobs here inside of the game that had their stuff moved around. I don't know, man. The idea of, like, a Blaze variant, you know, that old reliable one, or even worse, a Phantom variant, what the flip? Mojang, no. But, on the other hand, maybe a couple of new outfits for witches, biome-based, like the villagers? Ooh. And then the Wandering Trader. Maybe we could have different Wandering Traders that come from different climates that perhaps have, like, maybe more locked-in trades, like a Wandering Trader that came from the desert, looks like he came from the desert, and then, therefore, has a lot of desert-themed trades. I don't know, man. It's definitely weird that there's a bunch of random mobs that had their files moved. A couple of you guys keep DMing me about this, so big shout out to you guys, and I don't know what to think here. For some of these mobs, definitely, the Blaze and the Inferno, the Witch, and maybe different outfits, it does seem decently realistic. Combine it with Mojang's insistence on remodeling things that are already in the game and just adding mob variants, it could happen. This is definitely one of those things, though, no offense, where people are starting to look anywhere for a little bit of hope, because the current drop, at least right now, how it stands, it's just remodeling mobs that you only get to see for like a maximum of 10 minutes before they grow up. Now, jumping back over to our newest snapshot as of the recording of this video, there is one big one that I kind of skipped over inside of the video. Villager and Piglin inventory slots can now only be accessed using mob inventory. Villager and Piglin have both been removed. So now if you want to take a look at the Villager's inventory or the Piglins, you just use this command right here instead of these ones. And this ancient bug that has been in the game as long as shipwrecks have been in the game has been removed as well, which is kind of good, but also kind of sad. So if you had a shipwreck generate on a chunk border, sometimes it could be split into different wood variants. It was really cool, rare generation, and unfortunately now, chunk border shipwreck splitting, it is over, my dudes. The party's done. We always love to see a bug fix that's good, but it's kind of sad because these split shipwrecks were so cool when you would find one. So finally here, this drop, I want to give you a little bit of a ray of hope. Is this drop really just baby variants? No, I don't think so. At this point, but last year in the Spring to Life update cycle, all we had were the Cold Pig variants and a couple of plants. You see, all of the snapshots for the Spring to Life update really kicked off next week with variant after variant after variant in the next couple of weeks. With Bedrock Edition preview this week being so small you can't even see it when you're staring, hopefully last year's pattern is continued this year and big snapshots start popping up, because so far we have 0 things brand new inside of this update. Just technically changes. Anyway, that's all for today. Smash like, subscribe, and as always, if you find something cool, well, maybe post about it on my community tab or send me a DM about it on Twitter, and maybe you'll get into the video. Check out a video on the end card. Goodbye, friends.